All right, there we go. We got it working. I don't know why. Every single time I do this, every single time we run into that problem. I should be used to it by now, but AEW Dynamite just went off the air, and it was a hell of a show. In my view, the best go-home show to a pay-per-view AEW has ever done. And that is saying quite a bit when you consider all of the wonderful go-home shows they've had. You had the awesome go-home show in the lead up to All Out 2022. That was when CM Punk did his whole We Are Chicago thing. You had the go-home show to All Out 2021, which people argue is one of the best go-home shows. But for me, as a fan of pro wrestling, guys, this was everything I wanted this to be. Let me know what you guys thought of the show, though, in the chat. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm going to be talking about wrestling. I'm going to be talking about graps. Guys, put your chats in. Get your chats in, I should say. Let's talk about wrestling. Because, oh man, AEW is about to put on a hell of a pay-per-view. That's for damn sure. Oh, man. I'm going to try to... Let's see. Ooh, why isn't this... Oh, now I know why this isn't working. There we go. We got the chats up. There we go. I know. I was muted, wasn't I? Wall Street Money. Wall Street Money. That's a very interesting name. But yeah, I was muted. Now I'm here. I'm ready to go. Let's freaking go. Guys, put your chats in. Get your questions in. I thought tonight's show, as I said at the top, fantastic. Exactly what it needed to be, and honestly, a little bit more. Quite frankly, it is hard. It is hard to put on a go-home show. Oh, we got... we got 2 dockable streams. There we go. That's not what we want. We'll fix that. But it is honestly pretty hard to put on like a good go home show because at this point, right, everyone just wants to get to the pay-per-view. Everyone just wants to get to, what's happening later on. But you got to keep people's attention. You got to make sure that that people are entertained with what's going on. There we go. We fixed that. You also got to make sure that, at a time where, there's not going to be much action, you got that character development, you got the storylines, you got the promos, we got that, and then some. A personal promo between MJF and the previous international champion, Will Ospreay, which I thought really stole the show. My favorite part of the night was the end with Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson, where I think we saw Swerve Strickland kind of prove himself to be like the guy, and Bryan Danielson proving himself to be the best fucking wrestler. Exactly what he said on the show. The best fucking wrestler ever. I'm so hyped to talk about it. We got Wall Street Money saying, was it better than the Beach Break Dynamite episodes? Are you referring to the Jericho Cruise episodes? Because those episodes used to be wild. Like, that episode where they were on the Jericho Cruise is still like one of my favorite shows of Dynamite because it felt different. It felt like a different vibe, a different, atmosphere for pro wrestling. I think Dynamite should do that. Like, I think AEW, one of the things they could do to market themselves a lot more is go to music festivals, go to these, maybe don't do Sturgis, but do like all these different things. Like, be where there are people, like make deals with these people. Like, there's a lot of publicity that's out there to be had with AEW, and I think going to where the people are rather than like trying to get them to come to you all the time is a strategy that they could deploy more. But again, that's business. I'm here talking about wrestling. I haven't even like trimmed up my beard. You can see all the little scrabble, whatever it is. It's okay. By the time this Sunday rolls around, it's going to be all ready to go because I will be on the scene in London, vlogging her out and enjoying everything. It's oi, bruv, holiday, isn't it? I'm like, I can't wait. But let's talk about the show. So we open up the show with a fantastic, and again, I will say, fantastic little tribute. Oh, we got, hold up, chat here. The one where MJF turned heel on Danny Garcia was really recently. That was a great episode too. Yeah, I think like AEW's been on a run of shows lately, like for the past like probably 2 months. Have been some of the best shows that they've had in a very long time. I think the consistency it's gotten back to like where people expected it to be for a while. And I just love that. But anyway, we got through all that. Let's talk about the show. Started off with a confrontation, Britt Baker, DMD, and the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné. And one of the running themes for tonight was there was supposed to be no contact between anyone competing at AEW All In unless they were in a match like Darby Allin and Jack Perry were, like a tag team match or whatever. But if there were confrontations, contract signings, that kind of stuff, there was to be no contact. That was the rule that was deployed for the Will Ospreay and MJF segment. That is the same rule that was deployed here. And it was amazing. So you got these two cutting promos with each other, and the general gist of it was Britt Baker said, while you're here kind of mooching off of the company that I helped build, they were the ones who wanted me to be the first ever talent in AEW history. The first ever female talent, in AEW history. They called me. And like it was really cool because Mercedes was having none of it. And of course, like I said, there was this no contact rule. And Mercedes like ended up taunting Britt about it. And Britt basically said, like, I can't touch you, but this B word has got something coming to her, pointing at Camille, bashes her head into the table, and it was off to the races from there. I personally am really invested into this match. I think the original promo battle they had when Britt first returned to AEW Dynamite was fantastic. I think that kind of set the tone for this. Obviously, part of this, Britt Baker was not on TV. There was the outside stuff that I don't really want to get into right now. But I think that at the end of the day, this is a dream match as I try to, let's see if we can adjust these lights here to be a little bit more, well, what's a good color for us to do? Maybe red? Can we do red? I don't even know if we can do red. Let's do red. Boom. There we go. We'll try red, see how that goes. But anyway, I'm really excited about this match. It's a dream match, honestly, people have been wanting for years. Like ever since Sasha Banks at that point was in WWE and Britt Baker was on the rise in 2021. People have wanted this match for a while and they're finally getting it. I'm finally getting it. And I get to see it live, which makes it even more cool. But yeah, I'm excited to see what these two do in the ring. As I stated on the OT Graps All-In preview, I think Britt Baker is going to win this. I think it's about damn time that Britt wins another title belt, to be honest with you, in this company. But at the same time, I can't hate it if Mercedes wins, because Mercedes is the future. Mercedes is like the star of this division. She is who AEW wants to position to be the leader and the face of that women's division. So I understand that. As a fan, though, I want to see Britt Baker win. I want to see that big Wembley moment for her. I think, she's earned that as AEW's like long time, face and of that, especially of that women's division. And she was like the first women's star that really burst onto the scene, that homegrown women's star that really burst onto the scene in AEW like that. So we'll see what happens there, though. I was hyped for that. I know some people are probably down on it, but I'm excited about it. And another thing I'm really excited about is I'm hyped as all hell to see where they go with MJF, Will Ospreay. It's the thumbnail. It's what y'all want to talk about. Let's talk about it. Because MJF did his best impression of RNC, man. Like, it was crazy. Facts don't care about your feelings, because Will Ospreay's whole thing this whole time has been, I'm trying to restore the feeling, bruv. And MJF looks him in the face and he says, it's cute that you care about your feelings, but I'm here to deliver the facts. And the fact of the matter is that I'm here because you couldn't carry my weight. You couldn't carry this company on your back like I could. And they were going back and forth with each other. It was awesome. You had Ospreay levying insults MJF's way, stating that I got the call from Tony Khan saying, my world champion can't wrestle. And the world champion at the time was MJF. So MJF is irate, and these two are cutting a promo. Like, they're face to face, nose to nose. The tension is insane. And it just gets more personal and personal and personal. And then at the end, MJF, Will Ospreay face to face. And Ospreay said, like, something to the effect of, like, you're just jealous, right? Like he speaks to this jealousy. He's like, don't be mad because they turned, or like they're cheering for me. And MJF essentially in this reveals that the reason why he's so angry, the reason why he's motivated by hate, the reason why he's come back with this attitude and embraced the old MJF is because the fans stopped cheering for him and they started cheering for Ospreay. And that moment of realization when MJF said the quiet part out loud and Ospreay was smiling ear to ear, grinning ear to ear, realizing that MJF just outed himself as my jealous fan. That is when MJF decided to cut like all of the tension in the room and say, okay, you got me there, Willie boy. And then he talks about having a conversation with Will Ospreay's wife. Gets personal. And he talks about Will Ospreay's stepchild. And he said, I had a nice conversation with your wife. And it's real nice that you took in a child who wasn't like yours, right? You were not the biological father of. It's really nice. And then he comes closer to Will Ospreay, almost whispers in his ear and says, it's good that you're cool with that, but just know that your wife's next son, he's not going to be yours either. And at this point, Will Ospreay's pissed, and he goes over to Tony Schiavone and in the mic, and he says, hey, Tony, you got Tony Khan in your ear, right? How much is that fine if I just knock him out right now? And Tony Schiavone says 100,000 pounds, which goes and translates over to about 127,000 US dollars. And at that point, he said, yeah, it's freaking worth it, bro. And he socks MJF right in the face. These two are fighting. They are breaking things down. Security comes in, and as security holds back Will Ospreay, MJF gets a clean shot with his Dynamite diamond ring, socks Will Ospreay, busts him wide open, and just an awesome segment. Another piece that I kind of missed there in between their back and forth. MJF notes that the only move you got that can beat me is the Tiger Driver 91. A move that Will Ospreay now, of course, refuses to use because it nearly took out the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. It's too dangerous to use. And backstage later on in the night, we get a bloody Will Ospreay who's like just irate. Renee Paquette comes up to him, and we just see the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, the person who Will Ospreay hit that Tiger Driver 91 on, the person who, because he hit that Tiger Driver 91, Ospreay said, I'm never doing it again. He just comes up to Ospreay, looks at him eye to eye, man to man, and says, do it. Do it. And Ospreay, man, the look on his face, you know damn well he's going to have the most evil look in his face when he Tiger Drive. It's going to be insane, man. Oh, my God. Awesome, 5-star, 6-star, 7-star segment. Fantastic. To me, a show like this is the perfect go-home show because you up the stakes, you up the ante, you up the tension built over the last couple of weeks or months, and you raise it to a level that gets everyone hyped up. And I think everyone who watched this show, unless you're literally only there to watch AEW, everyone who watched this show came out of it thinking, I can't wait for Wembley. 50,000 people plus going to be packed in to Wembley Stadium to attend AEW All In London Part 2. Could be so much on the line. Man. Woo. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, guys. Please hit that like button. The more you do that, the better it is for the channel and the more the channel grows. But man, no, I'm so hyped to see Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, or Will Ospreay and MJF. I mean, like it's not only that I love the fact that MJF and is like basically like everything that like I kind of like despise like about like, you know, like the American quote unquote stereotype, but like, man, Will Ospreay just looks like the aura. That's really what it is. The aura that is coming out of Will Ospreay right now, like the feeling that I have watching him and making his entrance, and like tonight's crowd was insane. This is like the best crowd AEW's had in a long time for a TV show. And make no mistake about it, like the big reason is because they're in London, or sorry, they were in Cardiff tonight, in Wales. And they had a packed house, over 4,000 people, a smaller arena, but also like one of the things I've said about AEW is I think they should be open to running smaller arenas like this. Because I think it definitely like helps out with the look of the show. Like there is no problem in my mind. There is no problem with AEW running a 4,000 seat arena if, you know, like they're going to pack it out. Pack out a 4,000 seat arena. It like tonight's show looked good on TV. The only thing I have and the only critique I have is, man, put some lights on the crowd. You have a packed house. Put some lights on the crowd. Let me see them. Like, one of the coolest things about the way AEW used to be shot and like the way it contrasted with WWE at the time was that AEW like would light up the crowd and like the colors on that screen would burst out, and you know, like part of the old Dynamite scheme was like the colors literally bursting, like when you would see those first few months of AEW Dynamite. And they've gotten away from that, and like they don't, and part of it is, you know, sometimes they don't have good crowds, so they don't light it up as much. But at least the hard cam side, man, like put some lights on it. Let us see the people. Let us see them jump up in excitement. Let us see their faces. Like that is what part of the viewing experience is. Being excited with the fans that are there. Like I just again, that's my thing. Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe I'm that guy. I don't know, but man, I would have loved to have seen them light up this crowd, because this crowd was energized all night. And, you know, damn well Collision, because they're taping Collision as well, or they already taped Collision, because this obviously was in the UK, so they taped it way earlier today. So they taped Collision, and you know that damn well that Collision crowd's going to be insane as well. We got Logan. We got Logan James. I almost called you Logan Paul. Logan James Nakano. Great last name, by the way. Shout out to the Icon Bull Nakano. For me, is Will Ospreay the best wrestling of all time ever? Or is he the best wrestler ever? He is, man. I think Will Ospreay is going to define this era. He is like basically what Kenny Omega was like 4 years ago. I would say Will Ospreay is what Kenny Omega was 4 years ago. Like, as in, he is just the best right now. There's no one who's having better matches. There's no one, I think, in wrestling that has like the ability to like tell a story in an action-packed match right now than Will Ospreay. And I'm not gonna say he has the aura, he's the best aura in wrestling. I think that's Roman Reigns. Like when Roman walks in, it's just different. But man, Ospreay for me, and Ospreay tonight was, man, he was like, he could do no wrong. Dude could walk on water in the UK if he wanted to. We got, a nice, we got a super chat. I appreciate that. David turning heel in the chat. Appreciate you, David. Says, MJF Ospreay segment was the only thing I enjoyed on the show. I understand that. I mean, I thought it was the best thing on the show. Like they got in there, they had the time, and they told a story. And they revealed why MJF made it so personal with Will Ospreay. It's because he's jealous. And on top of that, it's like this desire to prove that he's the best. Because remember this, like, and I said this when I like fantasy booked AEW World's End back in December. Part of what Adam Cole took away from MJF when he cost him the AEW World Championship was the validation that he is the best. MJF worked his way into that position, like the MJF character, I should say, worked his way into that position because he truly believed that he was the best. And getting that world title by hook or by crook, it didn't matter because that belt proved to him and gave him the ego boost he needed to understand and really truly feel inside that he is the best. It's one thing to say it, it's another to feel it. And MJF felt it until he lost that belt. And when he lost that belt, like that's when we saw like this the hateful MJF come back. Because the longer he held that belt, the less he needed to feel insecure, right? And that's the awesome thing about this MJF story. It's like he felt insecure when he didn't have the belt. And then slowly as he held that belt, as he felt more validated, he was like, I am the best. There's no reason to be angry because I know it. Then it got taken away from him. Now he's just pissed off and he's jealous because everyone's cheering for Ospreay. Ospreay's the biggest pop every week. And he feels like those fans turned their backs on him. Amazing story. Thank you for the super chat, David. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to support the show, you guys can also leave a super chat. That's a definite way to guarantee your question is read out and answered in length and all that kind of stuff. And also be sure to hit that like button. Hit that like button is helps out so much more than you know. It's too early to say. One question, rumor swirling, Ricky Starks has already signed with WWE since late July. Well, I will say this. I am releasing a video later tonight that kind of goes over all those reports and gives you my take on the matter. So look out for that later tonight. What I will say is we don't know. And it just is unclear. The Ricky Starks story has been weird. Because the way like AEW used to frame it was that, he's going to be cleared. We're waiting for him to get cleared. And Ricky's like, I'm cleared. They just don't have any creative for me. And it's been a weird time. But the TLDR, my take is I think he's going to end up going to WWE. One way or another, I think you will see Ricky in WWE very soon. Or whenever his contract's up. I don't want to say very soon because we don't technically know when his contract's up. My hair is like bad. Look at that. I'm turning into Vegeta, everyone. Kakarot. You are better than me. Anyway, let me not call myself out on the stream for my hairline. There we go. Let's hide it. I'm like John Moxley in like 2016. I'm just gonna like, yeah, look at that. Man, now I look like Belichick. All right, we're just gonna. There we go. This is even worse. Man, I need to get a hat. Anyway, guys, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I don't even know what I just did on stream. But yeah, I mean, I thought tonight's Dynamite though, like other than that, like everything hit for me. Like genuinely, everything on this show hit for me. And it hit in the best way. I mean, but let's talk about the Toni Storm thing. So Toni Storm and Saraya had a match. Okay, this match maybe didn't hit for me, but Toni Storm and Saraya had a match. And story of it going into it was Saraya's, kind of rematch after losing the belt last year, never getting a proper rematch. And Toni gave it to her. Toni beat Saraya. She got a nice pop. And like, there's rumors that Saraya may be gone soon. I did a video on that yesterday, so go check that out in the archives after this. But we'll see what happens there. Obviously, Toni beats Saraya, and then right afterwards, as she's celebrating, she gets attacked by Mariah May, who got a massive pop. Of course, Mariah May, hometown girl. it just feels like to me, it really feels like to me that Mariah May is going to win this Sunday. The more I think about it, the more I land into the camp that it is just her time. It is her moment. It is Wembley Stadium. I think they pulled the trigger on her. And one interesting thing that they could do at the end, when Mariah May is victorious, standing tall, maybe beating down Toni Storm, we have Jamie Hayter come back. I am convinced Jamie Hayter will be at All In. In some capacity, she will be at All In. And the more I think about it, the more I think this spot makes sense. Her coming back and essentially saying, hey, Mariah, I'm back. Because again, another person lost the AEW Women's World Championship, never got a rematch for it because she's been out with an injury for over a year. Last time we saw her wrestle, I was there live in Vegas at Double or Nothing 2023. So it's been a minute, but I think she's going to be back, man. I can't wait. By the way, I'm just going to let you guys know, chat, I have not bought my tickets for All In yet. That's the wild thing. I have not bought my tickets for AEW All In yet. I was hoping, okay, so here's the thing. My strategy was to wait it out. My strategy was to genuinely wait it out and see where, let me not do that. And see, okay, let me see if these ticket prices go down. I was a fool because, unlike in America, there's only one way to buy these tickets. It is on Live Nation. There is no competition. There is no, tick pick or anything like that. I should have realized that way sooner than a few days ago. But alas, here we are where we are. So I will say, this is and look at this map too. They are filling out these seats pretty quickly. So I am a big. Here's my thing, right? For me, it is so important to get a center section seat, way more important than anything else. And as you can see, a lot of these are just kind of sold out or non-available. It looks like we're going to grab these ones. One of these. The reason why, and again, this is, if you're ever going to go to a big stadium show, this is good for y'all to know. If you're going to go to a big stadium show and it's outdoors or there's no dome, there's no roof, make sure that you get a center seat or as center as possible wherever you're going to be, whether it's here, whether it's up in the top row, wherever you're going to be. Because they have poles up on each corner because they got to fit a big jumbotron, a big ass monitor on top of the ring and the roof over the ring. So there's going to be pillars coming down on each side. Therefore, the four corners your visual is going to be blocked. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have to, man, let me even see. It's going to have to be this one, isn't it? How much is that? 207 pounds. Jesus. Brits are going to kill me with this. We're going to have to find another option. We'll see. Maybe we'll just have to, hey, you know what'll help me in avoiding these things? Y'all hitting that like button so as many people as possible see the stream. Leaving a super chat if you can. All that kind of stuff. Helps the cause. Helps things. Keeps things going. Keep the light on. Keep the lights on. That's what I was trying to say. Taco Kid, what's up, man? Good to see you. Taco Kid, you going to roll up to Wrestle Dream in October? Because I'm going to be there. It's going to be emotional for me. It's going to be Brian's last match. I'm super excited. I was at Wrestle Dream last year, and it was awesome. I got to actually that is the one AEW press conference that they have they've allowed me at. We'll see if they ever allow me back. Again, I'm not in it for the press stuff. I mean, the press conferences really, or the credentials. I'm in it to make great content, and that's what I truly believe. That's what motivates me. But man, that experience was crazy. That experience was crazy. That was Copeland's first ever appearance in AEW, and I had been talking about it 60% chance, 70%. But by the time that last Dynamite rolled around, I was I'm fully convinced Adam Copeland will be there. And usually on these predictions, I'm pretty correct. And one thing I can tell you is there will be a surprise for or a surprise. I think there definitely will be. I think the Casino Gauntlet match is a place to keep an eye on. I could see that being the place where they debut Ricochet. But we'll see. My friend got tickets for £2 because they're glitching the system. Hey, I need a system. I need the system to glitch, yo. Hey, yo, glitch. Yo, hey, if he can get my tickets for like $2 or £2, like I'll pay him like, I'll give him 50 like pounds if you can get that for cheap. Let's go. I think Mina Shirakawa will help Mariah May. I forgot about that. Mina Shirakawa, that is an interesting kind of wrinkle in this, because remember, Mina Shirakawa like kind of made good with Toni Storm because of Mariah May. So that could be a really cool wrinkle in there. Taco Kid said, yep, I will be at Wrestle Dream, was looking at tickets, and they are cheap. Are they? Oh, do we got to look at Wrestle Dream? Oh, man, let's do it. Let's look at Wrestle Dream tickets, too, because your boy, man, I got a lot of shows. So, guys, get this, chat. The shows I'm going to over the next couple of weeks, gonna be at Wembley. I don't know if, shout out to, I don't know if I'm just gonna say it. He's not gonna mind. I'm gonna be at All Out with Kenny Baum. Shout out to Kenny Baum. Me and him are gonna be doing it up in Chicago. So it's gonna be All Out in Chicago. I'm probably gonna make the trip up just because it's like a relatively short train ride for me to New York for Grand Slam. I might not stay the whole time. I don't think I'm gonna stay for all Collision, but I'll like watch a Dynamite. Then me and Kenny, at least. Shout out to Kenny Baum again. Me and Kenny are gonna be at Bad Blood in Atlanta. Maybe there's gonna be another person there. I don't know. We'll see. And then after that, that's gonna be early October. And then the week after that, I'm gonna be in Tacoma for Wrestle Dream. Yeah, man. Ooh, it's gonna be a hell of a. And then November. Well, depending on the timing, in November, I could end up going to Full Gear, since that's in Newark, New Jersey. So a lot of wrestling I'm going to be going to over the next couple of months. Most of it AEW. Got the WWE shows. I've been there like look, I went to WrestleMania. All right, I want to be clear. I went to WrestleMania, and the money that was spent on just tickets, absolutely outrageous that WWE is allowed to charge that much for tickets. Absolutely outrageous. For them, it's good because they make a hell of a lot of money. Slurring my words. Haven't slept in like damn near 2 days. Stay hydrated, my friends. Anyway, but tickets were astronomical, out of this world for WrestleMania. I'm excited though to be, in the position where I can go to wrestling. Like, this has really been my year of like going to wrestling shows. Like, you think about it, I mean, even like New Year's, right? New Year's, I was at AEW Worlds, and we go fast forward to, February. I was at AEW Dynamite Big Business in Boston. Went to WWE WrestleMania. Went to, God, what else did I go to? I went to Dynasty. I forgot. I went to Dynasty, AEW Dynasty. I went to, what was it? Forbidden Door? Did I go to? Yeah, I went to Forbidden Door. I went to back-to-back, almost back-to-back nights. I went to SmackDown at MSG, which is a great experience. Done it twice now. Great experience. I highly recommend, if you haven't done it, go do it. SmackDown and MSG, which is awesome. And I got recognized there, which is weird. But then I went to Forbidden Door. That was the last show I went to. I think I'm missing one. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Hopefully not. That's a lot of shows to go to. God damn it. But yeah, this has been the year of wrestling. I don't think I'm going to be going to as many wrestling shows next year. Just because I'm a tired boy with all this traveling. I think by November, I'm just going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not traveling for a wrestling show for a long, long time. And then they're probably going to book like something like insane, like, Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, lights out. And I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. Take my money. We'll see. Disappointing. I'm disappointed WWE getting Will Ospreay last year, or that they didn't get Will Ospreay. I mean, AEW offered more money. AEW offered more money and a better schedule. I like that's truly what it came down to. That's truly what it came down to. It's Taco Kid says, Wrestle Dream definitely going to be a sad one for me. I don't want to see Bryan retire. For me too. Bryan Danielson is my favorite wrestler of all time. And in my opinion, the greatest professional wrestler to ever grace a wrestling ring. I think that he will go down as the best technical wrestler. He will go down as the best in-ring performer. Like, all of the above. There's no better all-around talent than Bryan Danielson, in my opinion. And Wrestle Dream's probably going to be his last match. I think it's nothing's been confirmed, obviously, but I think that's going to be his last full-time match before ending his full-time in-ring career. He will be wrestling again. Let's be clear. He will be wrestling again. But, man, oof. I'm going to get, I'm going to be a wreck at Wrestle Dream. I'm going to be a freaking wreck at Wrestle Dream when that rolls around. It's... Because Bryan meant so much to me as a fan, and it's one of those things. It sounds corny, right? It genuinely sounds corny. Like when you say oh man, this wrestler had an impact on my life. This person I've never met had an impact on my life, and and when I say that, I don't mean in a way of oh my god. Bryan Danielson is my best friend, and and no hate on anyone who does that, genuinely, but for me, it's more of wrestling has always been an escape for me, right? Something I can, get lost in, distract from all my problems, and for me, wrestling's kind of always just been there, right? I love football as well. Football season ends. I love basketball as well. Basketball season ends. At a certain point, I need something year-round to keep me engaged, and professional wrestling is that thing. And, it's Bryan, for the longest time, was my favorite. When he retired, though, in 2016, man, I was so down. I was just oh, man. I cried when he gave that speech. I still think it's, one of the best segments in wrestling history, his retirement speech. It's, definitely one of the best segments ever. And the idea of him hanging up his full-time in-ring career and him not being there on a consistent basis, forever, it's sad. It's genuinely freaking sad. Because he's just he's meant so much to me as a wrestling fan, and genuinely my life, because I've watched a lot of wrestling, and a lot of that wrestling centered around the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him. So shout out to Bryan, though. We've got a few more months. I'm going to be a nervous wreck, a crying wreck at Wrestle Dream, but we'll get through it. Going to be at SmackDown next month, then Wrestle Dream, then hopefully Survivor Series, since it's only a 3-hour drive for me. Yeah, man, I was thinking, I'm Vancouver, oof. I want to deal with the Mounties up there. The Mountie! I'm the Mountie! I was recently in Toronto, and no, the Mounties were nice to me. Will Sting be at All In? So FightfulSelect.com. Go check that out for the full report, but did talk about this, I think. And, they noted that Sting is expected to be backstage, or was expected to be backstage, I believe, at this Cardiff show. I think he'll probably be there in some capacity. So, yeah, I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would say Sting will be there. But he's definitely not going to be wrestling. Don't expect him in, the gauntlet match. Don't expect him as, a surprise, whatever. I think he could just kind of show up Wembley. No, you get a little Metallica playing. We'll see. But man, basically just talked about my wrestling journey. Didn't even talk about the rest of the show. So let's do that. Let's talk about the rest of the show. And more specifically, let's talk about... Oh, are we good? I think we're good. Oh no. Are we lagging? We're lagging. We is lagging. Oh no. Let me see. Are we lagging? I don't know. Chat, let me know. On my end, it says we're lagging. Oh dear. Oh dear. If you want to help fund new equipment for your favorite wrestling YouTuber, leave a super chat, guys. Because we're probably going to need them. It might be time. It might be time for an upgrade. I think it might be time. Part-time. But yeah, I think Sting will be at All In. Anyway, let me talk. We already talked about Bryan. Let me just close the loop on the American Dragon. So Swerve came out. There was a confrontation between him and Bryan that was supposed to be moderated by Bryan's favorite commentator, Nigel McGuinness. Well, so he's in here and see. I guess it was just on my end. Nigel McGuinness, though, was the commentator or the mediator, chosen for this. He, of course, hates Bryan Danielson. Calls him a clam digger. And Swerve kind of got really serious. And I love this because Swerve cut a promo on Bryan, and it was so visceral and real. Because he said that, Bryan's been going and doing the media circuit, doing all these interviews, and he's been talking about how, he's going to retire, and, he's going to leave the business and all that kind of stuff, and he's going to do it on his terms, blah, blah, blah. And Swerve takes that as an insult. Because to Swerve Strickland, Bryan going out on his terms, Bryan choosing when he goes out, that is taking that moment from Swerve. That is an insult to Swerve. Bryan overlooking Swerve Strickland at All In and thinking about retirement, thinking about his kids, that's why Swerve called out his kids. It wasn't because, Swerve Strickland genuinely hates his kids. It wasn't even just mind games. He feels insulted that the American Dragon Bryan Danielson isn't focused on Swerve Strickland, undefeated this year, AEW World Champion, aura oozing out of every portion of his body. The best, the guy who is right now in AEW being presented as the best. Bryan Danielson should be focused 100% on Swerve, and he's not. And Swerve takes that as an insult. And Swerve went after his kids again. Bryan could not take it anymore. He comes running out. Crowd is erupting. And Bryan Danielson hits a Psycho knee on Swerve, runs him off, grabs the mic, and says, Swerve, you want me, you got me, because I'm the best fucking wrestler in the world. And then Bryan Danielson, said, you're going to get your effing head kicked in, and leads the crowd. He's like, I ain't done just yet, because this Sunday, Wembley Stadium, I'm going to whoop your ass. Leads the crowd in a yes chant. It was awesome. It was awesome. Genuinely one of the coolest things I've seen AEW do. One of my favorite things. Bryan looked focused, ready to go. Excalibur even called out this is Bryan Danielson. This is the Bryan Danielson that he needs to be. Focused on the task at hand, not overlooking it. Focused on the task at hand and determined to win the All Elite Wrestling World Championship live at Wembley Stadium, 50,000 plus in attendance. I'm hyped. I was jumping out of my seat watching this show, man. I was so hyped. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Oh, man. But yeah, AEW Dynamite tonight was great. They also had a trios match, a great Continental Championship match as well tonight between Claudio Castagnoli and Kazuchika Okada. Went to a time limit draw, so I think we could probably see this run back on AEW All In this Sunday, but we'll see what happens there. Taco Kid says, I love the Bryan we got today. This is the Bryan, man. This is the Bryan that came into AEW, right? This is the American Dragon that came into All Elite Wrestling, saying that I'm not here to help young guys. I'm not here to be the old man. I'm here to kick people's freaking heads in. That's what he's doing, man. That's what he's doing. It's going to be great. Logan James Nakano says, I think of Gunther as A long champion, Roman, more than 4 years, except WWE has a big star babyface now. Still nothing WWE waiting after 4 or 3 years. MJF, Will Ospreay, or Okada like Cody Rhodes. I think Gunther could have been in that spot. I just don't think there's going to be another 4-year long title reign. I don't think WWE is going to do that. I think they did it to cement Roman. I don't think they're going to do it for anyone else anytime soon. Whoever the next big star is in a couple of years, maybe it's Braun Breaker in 10 years or whatever. I don't foresee this title reign happening though for a while in WWE, but they have a lot of stars in WWE. A lot of people are over. Gunther is one of them too. I miss Kenny in AEW. You ain't the only one, man. Right now, it's for me, the missing pieces in AEW right now for me are Kenny Omega and Jamie Hayter. If they get those two back, that roster is stacked. The top of that roster is insane when they get those two back. But right now, we're just waiting. And when Kenny comes back, Kota Ibushi said that's when I'm coming back too. So we'll get Ibushi, and hopefully Ibushi's rested up, healed up, and ready to go. Man, I can't wait. But Kenny's got a while. He is training, according to reports. He is training. So hopefully Kenny's back and whenever he's healthy. But diverticulitis is no joke. Main concern for Mr. Kenneth Omega should be his health. And I hope it is his health. And I know it is his health. Because I would rather have Kenny Omega, around than have him wrestle in a great match once. I want to see Kenny Omega for forever. In my opinion, him and Kazuchika Okada had the greatest wrestling match of all time. If you have not seen it, go watch it. New Japan Dominion 2018, 2 out of 3 falls. In my opinion, for my money, the greatest professional wrestling match of all time. Yes, better than HBK Undertaker, both of them. Yes, better than Austin Rocket Mania X7. Better than all of them. That is the best match of all time. There has not been a better put together match. There's not been a better story told in the match. This was it. In my opinion, I should add. I feel like Swerve versus Danielson is going to end up as a draw. Hangman interrupts the match. I don't think they would do a draw in the main event of Wembley. I don't think they would do that. Bryan Danielson will walk out of Wembley as the champion, in my opinion. I think Bryan wins it. As far as will Hangman get involved, I could see that. But Hangman is also going to be in the Casino Gauntlet match. Well, no, here's the thing. If Hangman wins the Casino Gauntlet match, right? Okay, here's where it gets funny. Because we know Hangman's going to be in it. If Hangman wins, there is no incentive for him to cost Swerve. Because him winning the Casino Gauntlet match guarantees him a title match for the World Championship. At that point, he would want to cost Bryan to ensure that he faces Swerve Strickland, presumably at All Out. Because we don't know when this title match in theory would happen, but we assume it's going to happen at All Out. Let's assume it's happening at All Out. For me, there's no reason for Hangman Page to be I'm going to cost Swerve so I can face Bryan. No, he wants to face Swerve. He wants to get his revenge and get his hands on Swerve Strickland. So if he wins, then I think that takes him out of the equation completely. But if he loses, if Hangman Adam Page loses, he has all the incentive in the world to cost Swerve Strickland that title in the main event. Because he doesn't have a guaranteed match for the World Championship. So now he has to goad Swerve into it. He has to do something so dastardly and evil that Swerve has no other recourse than to go after Hangman and agree to a match. So, in short, if Hangman wins, I don't think he's going to be involved in the main event in any way. But if he loses, it's got that's going to be the carrot. Will it happen? Won't it? Schrodinger's cat. I don't know. That's this show's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait, man. Oh, man. Man. Oof. Been a while since I felt this hyped. I am, don't get me wrong, I'm always hyped to go to a wrestling show, but man, I am I'm getting goosebumps, getting nervous, feeling so happy knowing that I'm going to be there, Wembley Stadium, to witness all of this. How come it's only 50,000 seat capacity this year? Good question. Because I know this is like a question that's going around Twitter. The capacity is dependent on how many tickets they sold. So here's the thing. Last year's number, 81,035, was always going to be an outlier. Because remember, that is the most tickets sold for a wrestling event ever. The reasons why that show was so big and that the follow-up was like never going to be as big. You're not going to do 80,000 1 year later in the same stadium. The reason why that show was so big, though, was because, number one, it was AEW's first foray into Europe. So you had people from all over Europe coming, all over the world coming to Wembley. It was Wembley Stadium. They had not ran, no wrestling company had ran Wembley Stadium like this since SummerSlam 1992. A market that WWE has really ignored for meaningful professional wrestling for like nearly 20 years at this point. Like, this was the first big show that was brought back to, or one of the first big shows, that was brought back to the UK in almost 20 years. The other one, of course, being Clash at the Castle. So that first big one is always going to be like more, it's always going to get more people coming in. And there was also like a curiosity factor. The more tickets that were sold, the closer they got to that 80,000 number, I think the more people also just wanted to be a part of history. Like when they passed 70,000 and the talk started, like, can they sell 81,000 tickets and break the record? I think there were some people who were like, man, if they do, I want to be there. So there were like a multitude of factors. Again, when you run the same market like a year out and like you're going to sell less tickets, but like we also need to remember 50,000 people in a stadium selling 50,000 tickets is a sign of a very healthy business. Remember, 50,000 tickets was like the goal that people had for All In last year. So there's a lot of people who are going to be, oh, they only sold this 50,000 tickets. Hey, bro, how many tickets did the Royal Rumble sell? It wasn't 50,000. They were also in the stadium. All right? We can have this conversation back and forth. It's whatever. But, you know, part of it also, let's be honest too, is a lot of the stadium right now is like kind of cut off because there was a Taylor Swift concert in town. And, you know, Taylor's like doing the whole thing and a lot of that stuff can't really be moved. So that's also part, like, kind of cut off like a bunch of seats. And they have this massive stage that like AEW like isn't really going to get rid of. They're just going to kind of keep them, probably going to be part of the set at Wembley. I thought it's because of Taylor Swift. That was part of it. I mean, that was part of it. It cut off some seats, but like also like it's, I mean, a stadium show selling 50,000 tickets is insane. Here's the thing. A non-WWE stadium show selling 50,000 tickets is insane. Insane. The fact that AEW was able to do it back-to-back years in the same market, even crazier. Genuinely, even crazier. And there's going to be well over 50,000, I think, by the time this rolls around, because walk-ups are going to be a thing. People know they can get tickets. They're going to open up some new sections. Stadium's going to be packed. Is Hikaru Ishida's contract expired? Not that I know of. Bryan winning the title at All In, then Hangman cashing in the title at Wrestle Dream and winning it off of Bryan Swerve's actual house would be insane. That would be interesting. Because, I mean, like, the way I think it's going to go is, like, it's going to end up being Swerve versus Bryan, you know, title versus career part 2. And Swerve wins it in his hometown of Tacoma, Washington. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Guys, I'm so hyped for this show. I'm so hyped. Can't wait. There's going to be a vlog coming out on the channel about it, too. I'm going to share that vlog after the show is over. We're going to be filming some stuff in London. I'm also going to be doing some European traveling a little bit. I'm going to go on vacation. We'll try to put videos out whenever I can. We'll have some content pre-recorded. Be sure, guys, also go check out my side channel, youtube.com/Wrestle Vibes. Wrestle Vibe. You can search that into the little YouTube search bar. That's got more docu-style content, video essays, that kind of stuff. People are really digging it. Very successful right now, and appreciate every single one of you real takers who have subscribed over there to Wrestle Vibes. But please go over there, check out the content, give it a like, share it with your friends, family, all your wrestling nerds. Hell yeah. Put it in your WhatsApp chats, put it in your group chats. I don't care. Get it out there to as many people as possible. Don't give them any context. Just be like, watch this. They hate wrestling. I don't care. Well, send it to them. Send it to them. Let's go. Try to get these clicks, baby. No. But appreciate y'all, chat. Taco Kid, Wall Street Money, Logan. Appreciate all of y'all. Of course, David, who showed out with a super chat. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. This has been AEW Dynamite, the go-home show to All In 2024. Had a lot of fun on this stream. We're going to try to do these more often. Taco Kids, I think that's going to happen too. We'll see, man. Taco Kid, I'll see you out there, hopefully, for Wrestle Dream. Until next time, guys, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.